My name is Stephen Olanya, Men2Men Talk. We are here again on your screen. We want to appreciate and thank you for tuning in. First things first, safety or health first. We want to encourage you to use masks as much as possible. Wash your hands as often as possible. Keep distance as much as you can. Avoid crowds. Follow the SOPs as much as possible. I know it's not easy, but for the sake of containing the coronavirus, please let's join hands together with the government. It's not political. We talk in terms of health, not any other thing. Otherwise, thank you so much. For today's show, we're not going to be using our mask, not because we are rebellious, but we have created a good distance between us, and so it's safe. And for the sake of clarity, we will not be using the mask. So that's the excuse we have for today. But otherwise, we like to encourage you as much as possible. So, well, back to the show. This is Men2Men Talk, handling issues pertaining men. And we want to thank you for joining us. Please, if you are joining us for the first time, you can subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so that you can be notified when we have this show every week. And we want to take a special appreciation to everyone that has been following us, has been giving us reflections, giving us questions, and having some suggestions of topics that we can talk about in this show. And so we want to thank you. Please, let's work together. Let's share this issue. We are standing in the gap with the little that we can. We are not experts in everything pertaining men, but what we know out of our experience is what we share here. And so we want to thank you all for your feedback. Please drop that like, give a reflection. We'll be very grateful. As usual, I have my colleague. You can say hello to the viewers.
Hello viewers, nice coming to you again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on where you are, which part of the globe. But here, we're enjoying the sun. If we open the borders, please come and tour Uganda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country.
It's a very beautiful country.
Very beautiful country.
The country of the Olowos,
Yeah.
the Olanyas,
Olanyas.
the Segundis,
And the Taremwas.
the Zaremas,
Yeah, those are great names.
Robushanas.
Good men, actually. We have good men in Uganda.
Yeah, the Tamale Mirundi.
Those are
Names like that. Huh?
That's
Olara Otuno.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
True.
people. So
Okay.
you're welcome.
So today we want to look at how we help our children understand what brings food on the table,
Yes.
how we get the fees, how we get the fancy clothes, how we get the houses we're staying in. I mean, there are parents who have been blessed, they've worked hard, and they have put a house. Others are driving, and others are in the process. But the question is it just working hard for our children that should be the emphasis to men? That's the question we're asking today.
Exactly.
So you out there, you can also be debating. I know you could be watching this with a friend or with your son. That is the question we're having. Is it only just working really hard, which is a very positive thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very positive. Probably let's start with that. Let's look at what should we do as parents, really? How much should we work for our children? Probably we start with that, then we can build it up to really, is that all we need?
Interesting. Personally, I would say I don't work for children. I work for myself and my wife.
Okay.
Children are a transition of us.
Okay.
So we don't work for them. In my view, I don't work for them. Actually, I create them an atmosphere where they can learn all they need to be independent in order to do something for themselves. In fact, I give them a starter point. I give them what to run with. But the idea of trying to amass wealth for the children is not home with me. And neither was it home with my parents.
Okay.
Like, my dad never literally left for me anything. But he gave me, I remember him telling me, my son, I've been able to marry, paid right price for all the other children. But for you, I've brought you to a level, or you have managed to achieve that level, that you are able to get things fend for yourself. So I will request you to pay your own right price.
Wow. I think your perspective makes sense to me as well. When we say we work for our children, we're looking at it from one point of view only. Is that, well, at certain age, if not, it should be strategic for you to actually show the children that a portion of what I have that belongs to you is a facilitating portion.
Okay.
One of it is education. Because when you say you work for the children's fees, well, that is in a way, but you're not giving them, like the money in cash that go and invest, but you are facilitating
them. Yes.
So when you actually say it kind of sways us away from a lot of things, because the assumption would then be that all I have to do is to provide for the children. Then let them live like snakes.
Yeah.
In which case, actually, we miss the upbringing of the children, including doing well in school or doing the best with the facilitation you're giving. So in this case, we're trying to say that when we say we work for our children, we tend to hide. Because the moment you're provided, you've worked and you've given to them, then you think that is all.
Exactly.
And
maybe what the comment on that is the challenge we have in our setting is that we work for certain material achievements. The common understanding is that once I got a house, I've got a job which is an income generally, I've got a wife comfortably, most people feel that are right. Now, the danger of that, saying that I'm working for my child, or the idea of working for the child, puts a child in that condition. When the child sees a car,
everything,
sees a house, sees land titles,
yes,
he feels, what do I need to work for?
So the value of these items to the child that you have prepared is not received from the same perspective that you as a parent is giving.
Exactly. So,
I think that is very important, because the value we attach to what we are giving our children should be at the same perspective. The children should look at it from that perspective, including how much it took for me to actually get that. It's as little as the fees, as little as the food that is on the table for that day.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be wasted. It should be eaten with the mindset that it costs dad or mom certain kind of energy or time to get this here,
or even sleepless nights for that.
Can you imagine?
For that matter. So it's very, very funny or bad. I'm not saying we shouldn't amass wealth and pass on to our children.
Yeah.
That's far be it.
That's one end.
That's one end.
But it's not really.
It's not really.
Enough, or it's everything.
I would love to work and amass wealth or property that I'm even able to pass to my child. But when I lack one thing that the child cannot add value to what I'm living for him, then they are failed. And for me, that is my pain.
Yeah, and I think it is like winning a lottery.
Exactly.
It's winning a lottery. I mean, free things have never been valued as much as what you've worked hard to achieve. Yeah, and so I think we have had a big problem with many great families. I mean, we know of great families. I know of many. You know of many.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, you've had a family that have been doing very well. You know, like so and so was a permanent secretary or had this business, was a powerful man, and then when he passes on, when he dies, then the wealth becomes a battle.
Exactly.
Probably we don't even have to take it far. Let's look at children who actually want to do away with their parents. They want to kill their parents to get hold of the land. They have no idea how it got to them. So that really makes us ask this question. Do we really have to work for our children, or we really have to prepare and facilitate the children to get things for themselves? If I leave something for them, then it should be that they have the same value they attach to that property. The same way me who actually sweated to get it out. I mean, like, it should be the same. We're reading from the same page. In that way, then the pride of going down my graves, you know, in peace, and knowing that, well, I know those guys will take charge. They're not going to suffer because there is that element. I don't want my children to suffer. You know, Jerome, you mentioned. Just tell me this story that, I mean, I saw actually it was in social media. Yeah, if you could share with us, then we'll talk briefly about some of the things, because we really want to talk about working for our children, because it is one source of problem that the men actually demonstrate when they come to adulthood, a decision-making age where you have to live by yourself. Even if your father left there an arcade for you, a shopping mall, it can be run down. So that is one thing, because we just got it on a silver platter. We do not have the value of who the parent has passed to us. We receive it from the wrong perspective. We feel like, well, it's time to blow it away and probably show off, something like that. So I think it is necessary for us to get something to anchor, and so that story is going to give us that background. We are bringing it in not for any reason, but just for that. That you can have everything for the children, they can be in the best schools, but do they have ideas of how you sweat to get that money? I mean, leave alone this, bribery and money that you just get. I mean, corruption and stuff like that. We're talking about people who genuinely work their money out. We don't subscribe to bribery, we don't subscribe to stolen stuff, and so we don't even want to talk about it. We want to talk about value, wealth that has been amassed in a clean way. Clean way. That way,
work your way up.
So it is like what Adam was told. You have to sweat. So when somebody sweats and gets the money, you can pick it up. That story.
Time may not allow us, but there's a similar story. The one we are referring to, I'm going to talk about. But there's a similar story in the Bible, the two sons, the prodigal son, well known for prodigal son. He did not understand the value of the property, or the wealth
the father was giving
to him. So he wasted it.
Just pause a bit.
That one.
In this case, the father actually worked for the children. Just move on.
So he gives. The son says, "Father, you worked. I don't see anything I did. You just give me what belongs.
The portion.
The portion that belongs to me.
Whatever it is.
Yes.
Give me the portion.
Give it to me." The father picks and gives the child. He says, now Disney World. He goes, plane ticket, he flies to this happening place, spending place with all these other attachments like ladies.
Ladies, money has always. We're not saying all ladies are, but money.
Yeah, money tends to go with that. Exactly. So he goes and spends. Somebody made a statement to me, saying that you don't know how to earn it, you don't know how to spend it.
I agree with you. So that's a strong statement for what we are talking about.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to make the money, then you don't know how to spend it.
Exactly.
I love that statement.
True. So this young man goes. He did not learn how to earn. The essence, maybe pull back a bit. The essence of giving a child property is not that he should spend it, but he should actually multiply it. That's where the story of the talents comes in.
Yes.
The one who kept it and showed it back to the master.
In multiple.
Yeah. So what was commended. Therefore, the whole idea is when I give something to my child, that child should be able to multiply it and make it better.
Meaning there is a learning of how to make the money.
Exactly. So once you have given your child that, viewers, I agree with you, give him everything if you want.
Yeah. Because you know the child understands the concept of making the money and keeping the money.
Keeping the money.
Yeah.
So once he does that, then he's able to, it's good to receive. So like the prodigal son, he goes and spends everything. Because the parent had worked for him, he was there, he was participating, the Bible says. But I think he lacked the learning aspect of it. How to earn and how to keep. Otherwise, if you give someone who's very entrepreneurial, who's very innovative, you give him wealth or property or finances, and even if he flies to any part of the world, he will be able to pick up from there and get moving and build up or maintain.
Yeah.
That is the aspect we are referring to.
In this case.
So that this young man did not know or did not pick the lessons of how to create and maintain. So he goes and spends everything. And that is not far from what is happening in our generation, in our community.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, and I have many stories and many examples. They keep flowing. Like there's one family where the kids took their father, the courts of law, demanding for property
share
of their father. Yes, but they were 18.
So I'm old enough. I need my
share. It's actually the prodigal son story. We don't know the age of the prodigal son, but must have been a youth somewhere there. Now these boys were 18 and above. They got Courts of Uganda here. It was published in one of these papers and even televisions aired it. So they go and take their father to the courts of law that they are demanding for their property. Why did their father give back to them? So that's the wrong perception.
They're not prepared for it.
They are not. So they go, they arraign their father before courts of law and argue with their point that they need their portion. Father comes and says, my Lord, these are adults.
Yeah.
I gave them all they needed to get them to where they are. Now my portion with my wife
is what I have. What
I have. I gave them everything.
How did you use what I gave you?
What I gave you, I took you to
School? Yeah.
I fed you, I bought you clothing, and there are things I've been giving you to kickstart you, to help you. Why do you come for my own? You're adults. Fend for yourself. You know, funny enough, the past judgment, I say, dismissed actually the quest with the costs
on
of
the kids. I love that. I love that.
To pay the
Now where do they get the wealth?
Exactly. Now they have to look for money to pay their dad.
Talking about, you just mentioned something very, very particular. I'll get back to you with the story.
Yes.
About the parent, the father saying, look, I have already given you the share. I used to have Big Brother talk in schools. You know, we talk to students. Like, I mean, the evening times where you just walk and you get some few students, and then it keeps building. And this is what I would tell them, that the only part of your parents' wealth that belongs to you is the school fees.
Exactly.
Because the whole question that I would pose to them is, what can you do with the education you are pursuing? Taking into consideration that you've put everything, you're all in this education. I mean, you are brought to one of the best schools. I mean, that was Namirembe Hillside High School. By then, there would be second or third in sending students to Makerere University on government sponsorship. So that means they were the cream in a school where at least everyone would admire to be there. So I would ask them, what can you do with the education you have? Now, if you can do great, you can be an engineer, you can be a lawyer, you can be an accountant, an architect, and several other great professions that we know have stood the test of time, that they are big. So if the school fees that your parent has given you can do more than what your parent has amassed over the years, hasn't your parent given you the best part of his wealth?
Exactly.
Because you make the decision. You know, so when you talk about how these boys walk their father or drag their father to the courts of law because their father is not facilitating. I mean, the father is not giving them what belongs to them.
What they perceived.
Yeah, and that is parents. That is what we have to be very careful about.
Exactly.
That every time you're paying your child fees, let that child know why that fees is coming. It is part of the wealth. Unfortunately, the school fees these days is really high.
It's high.
I mean, nursery you're paying $1 million.
$1 million.
Now high school you're paying two plus million.
Yeah.
And so that is the bigger percentage. It's so big a percentage of what somebody earns. Some of these people who are paying their kids in schools worth $2 million actually earn $2.5 million.
Exactly.
So how much am I passing to my children every single time they're going back to school? And so, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, by the way, when you tell me how this father painfully tells the children, look, I have given you your share. It makes a lot of sense. Move on, sir.
Yeah, so we get lost in that idea that we are working for our kids and yet we are destroying them. So the prodigal son spends all the money. Then he was stuck. Remember, he had got everything.
Yeah.
He couldn't go back to the
his share.
Yes. Now the dependence syndrome hits him. Other thing, viewers, that we are teaching our children unknowingly is being dependent.
And that's painful.
And unfortunately, dependent on a passing source.
Yeah.
Literally, before, as I was growing, our parents, majority of our parents used to die before us.
Yeah.
In other words, that's why I'm saying a passing source.
Yeah.
The other way to look at it, you are losing your energy.
Yeah. So it's diminishing.
It's diminishing. So if you teach your child to be dependent or develop a dependent syndrome, and yet you are passing away, the vigor with which you do work at 40 or 30 is not the same at 70.
True.
So now you have not given this child the ability to create wealth like you learned or like you were doing, like the prodigal son. After spending everything, man, he had to find his way out. He went to the level of eating with pigs. He was keeping pigs.
That was extreme.
That was very, very extreme.
That was extreme, for sure.
So until he came to his mind and saying, let me go back to my father as a servant.
Yeah.
Now, what spirit was in him? Serving,
yeah,
working.
Now that is where the mind switched from dependence to working to achieve.
To achieve something.
And that's a very strong thing. when do we actually have that mindset in our
In
children?
our children, exactly.
Don't wait until they have wasted.
Uh-huh.
We should plan for them.
That's a strong one.
Yeah. So the mindset should be changed from the word go. Don't wait for the prodigal aspect, the prodigal son, to come to the realization. The realization has a cost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes the realization may come too late.
Absolutely.
For
And
the
always, but most times.
Exactly. For the prodigal son, it was good that the father was still able to work, and he went back and learned, relearned.
And let's even say the father was alive.
Exactly. So he had a chance to do a retake. Some of these people are dismissed from the school of learning.
You don't graduate.
You don't graduate. So you go.
Given up for you.
I've given up. So, but this one had a chance. How many of us parents can assure ourselves that if we don't give these children these lessons, we have a chance to give them another chance to learn? Very few of us. Therefore, like you told me one time, when you are talking to the children and they are asking for certain item,
Yeah.
you relate it to the language they understand. Like
Yes.
what you're asking is
Equivalent
half
to
of your fees,
fees, yeah.
or full fees.
And also try to look at how much they would work to get what
Exactly.
they are asking.
Exactly.
You would wash my car you wash every day, that is 10,000. If you are to wash the car, say once in a week, that would be 40,000 at
40,000.
the end of the month. So they start realizing how hard it is to actually wash the car, and you just earn 10,000.
Exactly.
And then how long it's going to take
going to
for
take.
you to accumulate 10,000 to get the 400,000 that you need for that particular thing.
Exactly.
So they now attach value to the items that they are wishing they
Which you
should have.
have. Yes, exactly. So that actually is for me is one of the ways you can help a child value whatever you are passing on to them. They understand. How many of us parents take our children through what they go through in order to earn that money?
Very few.
Oh,
Some of our children have never been to our offices.
exactly.
They have never been to our workshops, the Juakali, they've not seen how you actually struggle to get the pieces of items sold one at a time until the profit accumulates to pay fees.
Yes. You don't even tell your child the day you fail to earn something for the family.
Thank you.
That you're shielding them.
Actually, I don't know, but we parents need. Okay, not every day that we fail, or not everybody fails, but sometimes we need to understand. We need to let these children know that a no is part of an answer.
Exactly.
I don't have is part of an answer. I tell my children this way. I say I have the money, but the money is not planned for ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not planned
I
for a
love that.
watch.
That's
It's not
what I love.
planned. I have the money, but I'm accumulating it for the next term's fees.
Exactly.
Now, in that way, they know that, okay, not everything that comes around. Because actually my daughter, Peace, my last born, has this, it has always been the statement nowadays. I think for the last probably 6-7 months.
My friend.
Yeah, she asks it, Daddy, if you have money,
That
if you
one
have
you know
money
that
for this,
it has now
yeah,
sunk.
yeah, if you have money for this, meaning money can always be there, but not for what you think should be spent on.
Exactly.
So that's just to help.
That is that. And that also helps you even under as an individual, financial management.
True.
There are things you will see. This is a digression a bit, but it explains what the benefit of that. Like nowadays, I see something I need or I love, then I compare the money I have. Is it? Can it cover that? Can it go for that? Whereas sometime back, if I loved something and I got money, my mind could go there first.
Yeah.
And you find that you spend the money, you just got $1 million, and the next time you don't have money.
The impulse buying.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's like you are training yourself while you train your children. Because you just say, but wait a minute, what's the point of me now spending this money here? When I've told my children, I mean, I don't have money for everything.
Exactly.
So I need to plan for what I need.
For what I need.
Yeah.
And be able to achieve that.
Exactly.
Exactly. So the prodigal son got a lesson and was able to do retake. Thank God for that. But some of our children may never do that. They may end up into robbery and all these other things, trying to earn money the easy way because you gave it to them the easy way. So actually children, monkey see,
Monkey do.
So if you teach them in the world things come easy,
Then
when the source is terminated, they will look for another easy route to get money. And God forbid, it may be robbery, it may be theft, it may be corruption, it may be all sorts of things. So parents, we need to learn to do that. And we emphasize boy child because divinely they were put as leaders of the family.
or the providers.
The providers
Yeah.
of the family.
Yeah.
So we need to also teach our children that. And also the other story you were telling me about, you were reminding me about on social media is a story of a young man who had gone into a job market and he was working. And now he was applying for a higher position, a manager position. So his boss, immediate boss, has a chat with him and asks him about his parents,
Okay.
how their parents earn money,
Yeah.
how, whether he knows that. He said, I don't know, me, they've paid my fees, they've done everything, I'm here, I'm working. And say, have you ever asked your parents what they do? He said, yeah, they do wash the clothing to earn money in order for me to get to this level and to maintain the food at home and the housing at home. He said, okay, that's perfect. Have you ever helped your parents washing? He said, no, I don't need to. Besides, I'm weak. They consider me young. They considered me young, and I could not wash as fast as they could in order to earn more money and be able to cover the needs. So he says, okay, I want you to do something. When you go home, ask your parents that you may wash your hands.
Okay.
So the young boy goes, a young man now working. He goes home and engages the dad and says, Dad, for you, how do you work? How do you earn money? The dad says, relates to him, and then says, Dad, I have one request. May I wash your hands? Dad had mixed feelings, of course.
I mean, like you question, what is this?
What is happening to my son?
Yeah.
He has never done that before or asked me that.
But of all things, the hands.
Yeah,
Why need somebody else to
exactly,
wash? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So mixed feeling, excitement and doubt and wonder, confusion. He gives the boy the hand. The boy takes the water to wash the hand. And then the boy notices bruises.
The rough hand.
The rough hand, the scars
Whoa.
on the hand. Probably from the squeezing
yes,
of the zips
yes,
and
yeah.
all these other things on the
Wow.
floor. And asked the dad, where did this come from? The dad was like, this is from our work in order to earn money that you may have house, a roof over you and ourselves. You may have meals every day.
Wow.
You may dress up
Go to school.
and go to school so that you may have the job you have.
Yeah.
The boy felt
That's a hard one.
that was the
That's a hard one.
hard one, yeah.
It's a hard
You
one.
grow up to that level, that's when you feel the pain your parents are going through. That one also had a chance to have a retake.
Yeah, retake.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because that touched him so much, to see that his parents' hands were
Yeah,
hurt because of him and other needs in the family, he requested to do the wash. And there are some clothing that you're going to wash that I can do.
I can do, yeah.
So he goes and washes, and he feels the pain
Yeah.
that the parents have felt all his life
Can you
to
imagine?
get him where he is. It's an instant.
That's a
thing.
hard one.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
That is $1 million lesson.
Exactly. So he does that. Then the following day, he goes to his immediate boss. He was so broken. He felt tears just started rolling. The boss engages him and finds out what happened, and he says, I did what you told me. And then, why are you crying? Why are you broken? It's like, for the first time, I felt the pain my parents have gone through to get me where I am. And cut long the story short, he became one of the best managers. Because he valued.
Yeah. Now that
Yeah.
that was a complete change,
Mhm.
a complete change from what he knew.
Mhm.
I mean, money coming, no problem.
Exactly.
I mean, like some of these kids who want to deny their parents when you go to boarding school.
Uh-huh.
They say, you know what? They just sent
They said.
they sent a neighbor.
The neighbor.
Yeah, my dad wasn't around. You know, my dad is just still flown to the US.
Uh-huh.
You know, you want to create all these stories, but in
Exactly.
reality, you are just a hardcore fella from
Exactly. So another thing that comes to my mind,
Yeah.
maybe before you go there,
Mhm.
is that for someone to value others, they need to understand what it takes
for them
to be
where they are.
they are. So this,
Really?
I begin to see that this young man became a good manager, valuing those below him
Because of what he saw.
He understood that these little things people do, the pain people go through, is to achieve, is what gets them to certain level.
Now, you know, I like analyzing stories.
Yeah.
And I analyzing when people talk. Something that I get from what you've just said is, I am well aware this boy went to school and took time through the same money
Mhm.
the parent was getting from washing to teach him how to live a life that values things.
Mhm.
For all that time at school, the boy didn't learn anything.
No.
Now, parents, that's where we go wrong.
Mhm.
Paying fees is not everything.
Yeah.
You are the best teacher.
True.
Unfortunately, you leave your children to teachers to do everything because you have suffered to get the school fees, but you have left the biggest portion. Now that you've suffered to get the fees, get your lesson plan
Uh-huh.
and teach that child
Yeah.
what the schools won't teach.
Uh-huh.
Because just imagine, just the manager telling the boy, go wash your father's hand.
I mean,
That was a lesson from the father that just unturns all that he had learned from school.
Mhm.
The bit that the manager felt I need. So even the people who employ us, they don't actually look for necessarily what you've learned from school. They want to look for those extras. Do you value others?
yes.
Do you value what people have worked for?
Mhm.
If the company is giving you a car, are you going to drive it with care? Are you going to value it like yours?
Mhm.
Do you take your job as your
Your-
personal business?
Mhm.
These are things that they are not going to be taught in school.
Mhm.
So you as a parent, you should, I just love that story.
That
I love
story
it
is
because
powerful.
it's a packed thing. It's a
Mm.
simple, like takes just minutes. But it's packed.
True.
It shows you the contribution that parents can have.
Mhm.
It is more expensive than the fees.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, parents, we don't know how much our children trust us.
Uh-huh.
Some of us, we have not exposed that trust. We have not availed ourselves as the best friends to our own children. Now that is where boys get lost.
Mhm.
Do not take rebellious aspect. That is the wrong thing. You need to change.
Exactly.
If your boy is rebellious to you, you're missing out on something.
Mhm.
Don't blame anybody.
True.
Blame yourself.
Mm.
Take your lesson plans and start changing that boy.
Exactly.
Because we are waiting for another woman to be battered by that boy.
That's sad. So sad.
I mean, that's the unfortunate thing.
Exactly.
So the concepts that we are talking about, or the principles we are looking at, is that parents should have a contribution. So don't work necessarily for your children.
Yeah.
Let your work, if you're going to work for your children, then work on the values,
The values, yeah.
the characters you're putting in them,
Exactly.
the working ethic,
Mhm.
that ability to see value in the things you provide, even the porridge without sugar. Let them see the value.
Exactly.
Some of our children can't actually eat bread without butter.
But yeah.
I mean, it's annoying, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, some of us we had sweet potatoes
Potatoes.
with coffee, without sugar. The sweet potatoes, the sweet stuff in the sweet potatoes was the substitute for
the sugar.
the sugar. And you know, we would sweat and feel glad. Yeah, feel nice. I mean, you walk away, you know, belching, and you feel, yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Supper, I mean, breakfast is sorted.
Sorted, yeah.
Yeah, but now our children here, you open the fridge, they quarrel with the fridges. Our children quarrel with the fridges.
Oh dear, yeah.
Seriously? They quarrel because there is no hot water in the showers? Really? Do they know the value? I mean, some of these kids leave the water running and they don't have any they don't care.
They are so wasteful.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, that is the challenge.
Really?
You know, the challenge I see with that is one. You teach a boy to value only what is received, rather than the means through which
You got that.
you got that.
Yes.
He will grow up not to value
How to?
yes
The energy people have put.
in. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when he marries, all he's looking at in a woman is what he can get out of her.
Sir, that is a hard one.
Now,
And that starts marriage from the wrong
the
perspective.
wrong perspective. True.
Just straight away there.
Exactly. No, he doesn't value if food is served on the table from our perspective, our setting here. We live is as ones who cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. If food is served, he is not
Yes.
going to appreciate the pain.
Somebody has taken
To cook. The time and even the love with which the person
has prepared.
is not seeing beyond the food. That's why you can be able to start lambasting the wife for mere overdose of salt. Beyond all the food, you know, you get.
Yeah.
All that.
Take it the simplest thing. After eating, I mean, you are the boy in the house.
Exactly.
I mean, you just want to leave the thing because you have a house help. Send those house helps during holidays. Let them go home.
Exactly.
Let the kids do the work.
I like that one.
It just doesn't make sense.
I like that one.
No, money cannot buy everything. Money
can't.
cannot buy character for your children.
Yeah. Now, that is to the wife. Those are the parents who substitute looking for material wealth for parenting the children.
But not parenting the children.
Yes.
You want to get a way of softening the hardships your children are giving to you, instead of looking for a way of letting them understand that when there is scarcity, accept it. When there's plenty, take care of it.
Exactly. Now, for example, during COVID lockdown, the parents who used to hide in office, we are looking for money, instead of coming down to teach the children.
No, they were running away from home.
They were running away from the homes and looking for reasons to stay out. This way the people are saying, President, you're over prolonging this.
You open the school. But you know what was so funny? Some of you parents who are complaining, okay, open the school. It's okay. We know that's a disservice. It's a problem to our children.
Yeah.
But you have the school fees.
Exactly.
You have the school fees. You could buy maybe. You were just stressed because the children are all over. They've broken the TV, this and that. You know, you don't have time to rest. You know, I mean, they come, you don't even know where your remote is because they're in charge of the remote.
Exactly.
Now you feel like, no, this one should go back to school.
Yeah.
But
when they were in school, we have
I mean, people have been doing businesses. I don't know, but it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy. So, I mean, the school fees now, I mean, it's a test. Has your school fees gained something?
Exactly. That assessment as
the assessment. And you, the assessor, you have struggled. You go to Kapelabiong, you go to Moroto, you are in Kotido, you go to Congo, you are away from home, looking for money to pay for your children.
Exactly.
Now, COVID comes and says, let's give a test of the value of the money.
Of the money
and you've been paying. Then now, you want to run away from the kids.
Exactly.
Like, teachers, keep giving them something.
Exactly. Keep them busy.
Keep them busy.
Exactly. You know, the most interesting thing is that when we're growing, our parents used to celebrate us coming for holidays.
Yes.
Because they knew now we are going to participate in the activities of the family.
Exactly. Work.
And they were like, wow, holiday, you're going to do this, you're going to they even give you, when the holiday is about, there's already a task, you could do this. Now, holiday parents are even cussing.
Yeah. One time over the radio, a national radio, I had presenters shouting, "Parents, Babo, they are coming back. Children are coming
Oh
back.
dear.
Watch your screen. Watch your like." Come on. So our children have become rebels.
Exactly, a problem to us.
Yeah, problem to us.
We don't want to be with them.
But you know what? Just on another note, look at how we value children when they're born. You take them, you want to fly them to the US. Give them that special attention. You buy pamper, beautiful, expensive trolleys, what?
Talk about
baby coat, all these things.
Talk
You
about
value your children when a blessing. You throw birthday parties when kids are crawling. But when they're hitting 16, 17, you are flexing.
Exactly.
You want to, You
want to sell them to the other uncle.
I will take you to your grandmother.
Hey,
Excuse me.
exactly.
That is not grandmother's child. Your child.
It's your child.
Take care of that child.
Exactly. Take care of that child.
Whatever it is, take care of that child.
Exactly.
There is no way.
There's no substitute. Money cannot substitute for your work, dear parents. It's very interesting. It's very funny.
I think we need to sum it up.
Okay.
Need to sum it up. Just give me a word or two to the viewers, and then we close this off.
I don't know. It just ended at a very high note. Many ideas still flow in the mind. But
I can continue with it next week.
Yeah. What I can submit to us parents is that let's not substitute a hunt for wealth for our responsibility towards our children.
Sure.
It's very good. We look for resources to be able to facilitate these children to get where we dream that they should be. But we should not forget the other important things of teaching them, giving them the character, giving them these values, so that when the Lord rests you, they say you smile in your grave.
That's true.
Yes, that's what they say. Though the Bible does not agree with
You wave with
yeah, exactly. So please, parents, children are blessing. That's why we give them special name, Precious, Kemba, the reward from the Lord. That's what it means. And all these interesting names.
Let's maintain that.
Let's maintain that.
Until you let them also start having their own children.
Exactly.
Well, Jerome, thank you so much. Viewers, from me, I would like to say this, that the real cost of what you should really work for is to raise your children the right way. Everything you give your children, let them know that it is the only portion of your wealth that belongs to them.
Exactly.
School fees is just that financial part of the wealth that you pass to them. I have actually told my children the TV we have at home belongs to me and my wife.
Exactly.
They don't have theirs. They should work. Theirs is embedded in the fees. The car we drive is not theirs. It is ours. In any case, we are waiting for the blessing from them.
Exactly.
I mean, there are simple things. Let's relate with our children. If you don't have a relationship with your boy, we're talking about the boys because this is the main thing, but it applies to the girls as well. Relate with your children.
True.
The time when you actually feel your children are becoming rebellious, that is the time you actually need to change your game. There is no way you can let go of your responsibility and you become enemies in a home. That's the least a parent should have. So while you work in that office really hard, just know that there is a value you need to put together to make sure your children raise up as responsible citizens. It matters. A teacher has 20 students. 20 students.
Is that UPE?
No, I mean, that's 100 and something. That's an international setting.
Yeah.
Just trying to be fair.
Okay.
I'm trying to be fair to teachers. I mean, but in reality, we're talking about 100. Now, if a teacher has 100 students in a class, you, a parent, you are assuming the teacher substitutes the parent. You have 3 children. The 3 are already a problem to you. How do you expect a teacher with 100 kids in a UPS setting okay, a good school in Kampala with 25 kids in class
Mm.
to raise your child.
Exactly.
It won't. Think about it. There's one thing to work hard
Mhm.
to earn the money, but there's the other to show the kids the value of every coin
Mhm.
that comes either in terms of food, in terms of dressing,
Mhm.
in terms of iPhone, in terms of the house you're staying in.
Mm.
Stay blessed, but think about this. Men to men talk. We need to sort out the issues of men from the root cause. So thank you again for watching. We want to appreciate you all for taking the initiative to follow. I know it takes data,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
to get this, but we want to
Yeah, we
appreciate.
call it bundle.
Yeah, bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Wherever you're watching from the US, from Canada, from
From
India,
Angola.
from Angola, from Paicho in Gulu district,
Exactly.
whatever.
Or South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yes.
We want to appreciate and thank you. Please do not forget, we will always come every week. May the Lord
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe. Yes, subscribe.
Yeah.
Masks.
Yeah.
May God
Bless
bless you.